Well, when I was growing up, my parents went to church 3 times a week. I grew up in a Church of Christ, and I found the Lord at 9 years old. And I remember growing up in the Church of Christ that they were always talking, or many times talked bad about the Baptist church across the street, which had a lot more people going to it, by the way. And so I remember that as a growing up child. And I've really never been to a Baptist church till I came to this one. And I love my church. You have a sign there that says I love my church, and I do love my church. This is a wonderful church to go to. And as a child, like I said, I grew up and accepted the Lord at 9. Unfortunately, the world got in the way, and I spent many years doing my own thing. But I'm so glad to be in church and so glad to be churched now.
So when I was growing up, my mom, believed, and she taught us to believe in Jesus. She was a Jehovah's Witness when I was very little. We got excommunicated because she wanted to celebrate our birthdays. So, we've always had some knowledge of Jesus in our lives. And then as I got a little bit older, probably, 5, 6 years old, I started riding the bus to a local, as a matter of fact, I think it was a Baptist church. I was saved at 7 years old, but then I didn't get baptized until I was in college, probably in my early 20s. So the influence was always there. I've always been seeking God. I've always wanted to be a part of a good church, and never really found the church I wanted until now. So our story of how we found Gospel Light Church is rather interesting. Jerry's daughter actually has attended this church for many years. She had invited us many times. We came here and watched her get married to Robert Robinson, and COVID hit. And I'll let him tell you more about that in his section here, but she invited us again during COVID. We came. It was a little bit of getting used to because we'd been going to the Church of Christ for quite some time, probably, 10, 12, 14 years. And so, it took us a little while to kind of get comfortable, but the truth is preached here. And so that's how we found out.
I guess I can't add much to that. We were going to the Church of Christ, and they closed down for 3 months. I didn't understand that. Even though I know that we should obey the people that lead the country, I feel like we have a higher calling to obey the Lord. And he says not to forsake the assembly. And so I felt like, it was wrong to close the church doors for so many months. And so when we found this church, we came here, and it was wide open, accepting and loving, and like she said, we had a little trouble getting used to it. I've been indoctrinated my whole life by the Church of Christ, and so there's some different things here. But as we learn biblical lessons, I've come to accept the beliefs of this church, and fully accept the beliefs of this church and love this church. And so I don't intend to go anyplace else. I think we found a church home. Okay, well, one reason that I love this church so much is because it's a very accepting church. It accepts people wherever they are and where they are at in their lives. And it doesn't look down. It doesn't seem cliquish. I've been to so many churches that were so cliquish, and there doesn't seem to be cliques here. It seems like everybody's accepted, everybody's loved, and I see such a desire from the people that go to church here to serve the Lord. And that's what makes me love this church so much.
And I think for me, the main reason I love this church is when the pastor speaks, and for that matter, everybody who gives a sermon here, but when the word is preached here, it is truth. Regardless of how hard it's going to hit somebody, it's truth. And I've been convicted many, many times over the year that we've been attending here. I've left in tears, I've left sorrowful, I've left excited. The message is always real, and it's always backed up by the Bible. And I think that is incredibly important. And that we are supposed to preach the gospel, that we're supposed to save souls. That is what it's all about. So
Yes, that's one thing I've been really impressed by the church here, is that it wants to go out and reach other people. And they put such a priority on that here. And I've never seen such a priority to reaching other people as I've seen here. And I think that's very important. And it's been very inspirational to me.